And I'd like to first begin with my team members who have been with me now for a couple of years, that we've been planning this forum that we've put in place today. And I'd like you to acknowledge them and know who they are, starting with myself. My name is Rita Pasha. I'm a yoga teacher in Kundalini. I'm based in Atteridgeville, Pretoria, South Africa. I run a foundation in my community called GIA Foundation, and I'm also a founder of the Global Education Exchange Coalition. Our aim is to educate young people and encourage them to take careers in the science, engineering, technology, arts, and maths areas. But we also want to encourage them to be aware of their wellness, for them to be aware of themselves and to raise thyself through mental wellness, tools and techniques that we teach them, such as yoga, meditation, and other formats that we use. I'd like to extend the invitation to Denise to introduce herself and the other members.
God Rising family, I'm tuning in from Los Angeles, USA, by way of Washington, DC, by way of Johannesburg, South Africa. So I'm so excited to see everyone in this space. I actually am a licensed marriage and family therapist, as well as a yoga instructor for over 20 years. And I also train life coaches to help community prevent chronic disease. So I have many, many, many jobs. And this job with this forum, the Global Educational Exchange Coalition, I'm one of the co-founders for this movement that I would call a movement. My focus is to help everyone to understand their power in wellness, because health is wealth. We can have all the money in the world, all the titles in the world, but without health, none of that matters. So our focus is to make sure you're well-rounded, you understand the importance of everything that goes with being a contributing member of the world that we live in, because we all matter, we all have gifts and talents. And I have such a talented team that I work with, and I will hand it off to my brother Ephraim.
Good morning. This is Ephraim Jernigan. I'm with the STEM Foundation here in Houston, Texas, and we run a program called the STEM Foundation. In reality, we should call it the STEAM Foundation. We focus on science, technology, engineering. We've added the arts, we've added agriculture and architecture, and of course, math. So we are also a part of GEEK, Global Education Exchange Coalition, and we're so happy that you're here today to join us as we talk about some topics that we know are going to be of interest to you.
Peace, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. My name is Lamont. A lot of people know me as Image. I'm a music artist. I'm an engineer. I'm also founder of the Swaliga Foundation, based in Washington, D.C. And I am one of the co-founders of the GEEC, or the Global Exchange Coalition. I'm really excited to be on with you all today, excited about this conversation. And I'm going to pass it to my brother Ashley so that he can introduce himself, and then we're going to get started with our Mind Over Matter moment.
Thanks, Lamont. My name is Ashley Souls the First. I am based in South Africa, Johannesburg, a beautiful place called El Dorado Park. I'm the founding president of the mega movement, Make Elders Great Again. I'm also a pastor. I'm a speaker and entrepreneur, a youth development specialist, and a social justice activist. And our organization is also a member organization of the GEEC. And it's good for me to be joining in with everybody today, and I'm looking forward to the conversation and the entire experience.
We're looking to hear from our young people. We share a lot of information on this call, so we definitely wanted to hear from you as well. If there were any comments, any questions about anything that you heard, any ideas, we definitely want to open up the floor to you as well. We'll address them if we can.
Lamont, I just want to get clarity on two things, if that's okay.
Yes.
I thoroughly enjoyed the presentation by Dr. Paulette. I missed Azza. I had a problem and got disconnected, so I missed his presentation from the South African perspective. But just on what Dr. Paulette was presenting, Juneteenth, I just want to understand the teenth portion. Is that a date? Is that what does that refer to? And then part of the presentation had 936, currently there's 936 or so, 39 hate groups in the United States, just under 1,000. One of them that she mentioned in there was Christian Identity, a hate group called Christian Identity. I just want her to expound a little bit on that. Well, see, I'm talking to her via you, so maybe I should rather just speak directly. If Dr. Paulette could just expound on Juneteenth. What is teenth? Does it refer to a date? And
thank you for that question.
And then Christian Identity, one of the hate groups. Is that what's that hate group about? Is it like Christian hate, or is it a group that promotes the ideology that the Bible promotes, the hate of blacks? I just need to understand that. It's just shocking that there's a hate group called Christian Identity. So I'd like to just know more about that.
Those are good questions. And I failed to mention in the beginning that Juneteenth is the combination of two words, the word June, and the announcement happened on the 19th. Even though General Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas on the 18th, he waited, this is funny, he waited until the media showed up and until all of the people who were on his side showed up to shame the Southerners. So he waited another day until the 19th to make the announcement through the Emancipation Proclamation. And so over time, the two words became one, Juneteenth. The 19th of June, Juneteenth. So it's an abridged of a word that really isn't a word, but now it is a word because it became a word. And part of what happened during that time too, y'all can imagine that some of the people that were enslaved came from different countries. Even the same country, they had different dialects and different languages. And so over time, some of the way in which our folk were trying to say English words, they still said it with the accents from where they came. And in some cases, words were blended together. There's a term that we call ebonics today that came out of an early way of speaking when people were brought over here on the ships. But that's another whole presentation. We won't get into that. But Juneteenth is a combination of those two words, the 19th of June. The second question you asked is one that sort of pains my heart to even try to explain to you. I'll say it like this. A lot of the vigilante groups and a lot of the members of the hate groups were started by people who identified themselves as Christian. You can take almost anything and make it into a lie if you tell a lie hard enough or strong enough or enough times. Let me give you an example. There is a senator who was a senator for 17 years here in the United States. He just lost his election. He's from Minnesota. His name is Stephen King. The reason he lost his election was because he said a real blatant racist comment out in public, and people called him on it, and he refused to take the comment back. Then he proceeded to say, if that's racist, then I'm proud to be a racist. And he said, and I'm a Christian racist. So not just back then, but even today, there's an organization called the Southern Poverty Law Center, I don't mean to take up so much time, but it's an organization made up of attorneys. They do a lot of investigation. In the early days, they would go to the South and help represent poor Blacks who were going through legal issues. They still survive today. They do a lot of research, and part of the thing that they do is they follow hate groups throughout the country. There are nearly 1,000 hate groups in the United States today. They can call themselves whatever they want to. The issue is that they are about hating another group of people, no matter what they call themselves. They misuse words on purpose. They dilute value on purpose and make it something else to fit into their thinking, into their ideology. I hope that helps.
It helps, thank you. And I just want to reiterate what that young girl said, which touched my whole presentation. The entire words that she was saying just cut deep into my heart. And I want to just say what she said. The world just needs a big hug.